What up, big man?
What's up, pal?
How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. How was your presentation?
It was good. I think it went well.
What class was it for?
Gen Biz 360.
What's that one?
It's like a writing.
Oh, there's like a lot of like my buddies are taking that right now.
Yeah, it's awful.
There's another one where like he would like write emails and shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, that sounds super dry.
Where are you at?
I'm at home. I literally just got back like an hour, like probably like 30 minutes ago. It's like,
Really?
yeah. And now I realize I have a lot of work to do, so it's not the best thing, but it's whatever. Now I have literally nothing else to do but do homework now. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I basically just like I like this is probably better to be like a conversation. I just like need some stuff for my paper that I actually like talk to somebody, and I'm also like kind of curious too. I'll send you the paper when I'm done with it. It's gonna be kind of long, but might be like, sweet. So just kind of like to start, you could just kind of like walk me through like why you kind of pursued sniper school and kind of like what that looked like when it came to like training. And then feel free to get as like deep level as you want, because I'm gonna go and do some more research after. So like if stuff goes over my head, it's not a big deal because I'll just try to like figure it out after the fact.
Okay. So I guess I'll start with like the process.
Yeah.
To go to it.
Perfect.
So like it's not, you can't just like walk in off the street and sign a sniper contract. There's no such thing. Also keep in mind they got rid of snipers, so it's not a thing anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is what it used to be.
Okay. Honestly, that makes my professor will probably like it a little bit more than if I'm getting a little more historic then.
Yeah. So how it worked is you sign an infantry contract. This is to join the sniper platoon in an infantry battalion.
Okay.
You also can go a different route, which I'll tell you in a sec. But so the traditional method is join an infantry battalion on an infantry contract. You go through infantry school, and then you show up to your infantry unit.
Okay.
And at that point, it's just kind of based off luck of the draw when they host their next screener. So in each battalion, there's 3 line companies. There's also a weapons company and a headquarters company.
Okay.
Each, so like your typical infantry battalion guys, an 0311, a rifleman.
Okay.
Like in each company, there's like 3 line platoons, and it's like it just breaks down from there.
Yeah.
And then in the weapons company, they have that anti-armor platoon that I was in earlier.
Yeah.
And like an 81 millimeter mortars platoon.
Yeah.
But so basically, you go to one of those based off whatever infantry job. So if you're 0311, you go to a line platoon.
Okay.
If you're a missile gunner, anti-armor, like I was, or if you're potentially a machine gunner, you go to that anti-armor platoon. If you're a mortarman, you can also go to the mortar platoon.
Yeah.
But then each line platoon also has a weapons platoon that those other MOSs can go to.
Cool.
But based off of that, you go to one of those, and then it's kind of luck of the draw, like I was saying, when they host their sniper screener. So each sniper platoon has, I'd say, on average, about a little under 20 guys.
Okay.
And that is consisted of dudes who tried out and passed the screener, which is hosted by that sniper platoon whenever they need more guys.
Okay.
So when I showed up, they didn't host it for 2 years.
Oh, damn.
So I was in my anti-armor platoon for 2 years prior to doing the screener.
Uh-huh.
Once you do the screener and you get selected, which it's pretty, like, it can change between units, but it's pretty much just like making sure that you're not going to quit.
Yeah.
So it's about a week long. And then at that point, like, they do their little interview, determine if they want you, and then let you know. And then at that point, you move over from your previous platoon to the sniper platoon.
Yeah.
And it's called a pig. So when you're a pig, you're in the sniper platoon, you do sniper things.
Yeah.
But you're basically learning. Pig stands for professionally instructed gunman.
Oh, okay. I thought that was kind of just like an insulting thing, calling somebody a pig.
No, you'll see in a sec.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, you're a pig. And like, it's actually like a pride thing. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm a pig. Like, pass the screener.
Yeah.
And like your life sucks. You have to learn a lot.
Yeah.
And, like,
but like you're excited
up,
still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you mess up, they definitely like, you pay for it.
Yeah.
But like, you're actually like doing stuff. And like actually like learning your trade vice, like just kind of messing around and doing nothing.
Yeah.
Which a lot of other platoons, like, you can get away with being a shitbag, but in the sniper platoon, like, you have to be hungry.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to learn.
Exactly.
And then This is also kind of down to luck of the draw if your platoon gets however many school spots. So I'd say usually they don't get many school spots a year. But once you've spent enough time as a pig to kind of learn the craft, and your platoon gets lucky enough to get school spots for sniper school, which they may get none for that year.
Okay.
Except at sniper school, because there were 3 schoolhouses. There was a West Coast on Pendleton, an East Coast on Lejeune.
Okay.
There's a Virginia one, and each of them ran. I think it was just 3 classes a year typically.
Yeah.
With 30 guys.
Okay.
And that's across the entire Marine Corps.
Yeah. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to get a spot, you got to be pretty lucky and timing wise, and also like stand out among the guys who have already stood out at the screener.
Yeah.
So if you were fortunate enough to get a spot, you go to that course, which was 13 weeks, and you just test out on like all these different things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a school. It's not like a school to teach you. Like there's schools out there to teach you how to do something.
Yeah.
And they do a good job teaching. I guess it depends on your instructor, but they do teach you. But just with how difficult some of these qualifications are, odds are if you're learning it for the first time, you're not going to pass.
Yeah.
It's more of like a test out, like prove that you can do this.
Okay.
Because like, especially with shooting.
Yeah.
We did have a couple guys who like hadn't really shot before. But that was more on the other side, which I'll tell you in a second. The guys who go to school. But for the most part, like these are like dudes who've been pigs for at least a year, maybe 2 or 3 years. And they pretty much are snipers. Like it kind of gets to a whole debacle. Like someone's like who never got the chance to go to school. Like a lot of my friends, they just never got a chance to go to sniper school.
Yeah.
But they were a pig when I became a pig.
Yeah.
And they were like just as good at shooting as
me.
me.
It's just like unlucky, basically.
Yeah. It's just like Tommy got a spot to go, but this guy didn't.
Totally.
Like, sorry.
Yeah.
But like they do sniper things as pigs. It's just like you can't call yourself a scout sniper.
It's like it's a title almost, but like also like there is more training. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, basically you do that 13 weeks, 3 different phases, and you're just testing out on shooting, stalking, which is like the crawling around in the ghillie suit. You got to hide from the observers and like identify it through a scope and stuff like that. And like mission planning, observation through like a spotting scope to like identify like they'll like hide stuff like a paper, I guess not a paper clip, but like small little things like a piece of brass, or like a fake grenade, like 500 meters away, and you got to like find it in this, and like use like different techniques to like pick stuff out of the ordinary, stuff like that. But yeah, you're doing stuff like that, and then just like the whole time it's kind of just like a nut check, you know, like you wake up super early and it's just like you're doing different physical events, different rucks, land navigation with a heavy pack, like you run everywhere with a pack. You're not allowed to walk anywhere while you're at school. You gotta jog everywhere, most of the time with that heavy pack. So it's just kind of like a nut check, like I lost a lot of weight there.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like a lot of sweating, like a lot of running.
Yeah. A lot of sweating. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you're like, and the instructors see it like they want to teach you. You're the next generation.
Exactly.
But you also have to earn your spot at the same time. Like
Totally.
It's not a free course. Like you got to prove that you want to be there.
Exactly.
Because even if you are the best at shooting and all this, like if you don't want to be there, then it's not worth it because it's a hard course.
Yeah, totally.
But I would say I think we started with a little over 30 guys, just because they knew that they were going to drop some guys on the initial physical test.
Yeah.
In land nav, which is like day 1.
Yeah.
And then we also picked up some guys along the way so the way it worked, at least when I went through, is you'd pass phases. So phase 1 was like the known distance shooting.
Okay.
Was the land nav, it was the observation. Those were the big 3 things. So there's like tons of like little quals, but like those are like the main 3 in phase 1. And if you pass phase 1, it's kind of like a checkpoint.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, most guys, if you fail, you don't really get a second chance to go back. There are those like lucky guys who they may get a second or even a third shot. Like I know some guys who got 3 chances to go.
Oh wow.
So like that's another thing. It's like some of these guys didn't get a chance to go versus other guys may have gotten multiple chances.
Yeah.
but you can pick up at the next phase. But it more depends on like why you got dropped. It's like a case by case basis.
Okay.
So we did have, I think we had a total of 3 phase pickups. At phase 2 we had 1, and then phase 3 I think we had 2.
Okay.
And then I think I don't know the exact number, but it was in the low teens that we graduated with.
Oh, so like almost half.
I think it was like a 40% graduation rate from guys who went to school with me. But like keep in mind that it's like the guys who go to the screener in the first place at the infantry battalion and get selected. I want to say we had 60 guys show up on day 1, give or take, at the screener at our infantry battalion to become a pig, and then we got 14.
Jesus.
And then from that 14, some like ended up not being able to stay in the platoon for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then out of that, got lucky enough to get selected to go to school. We got lucky with a good amount of school spots that worked out. But yeah, then went to sniper school, graduated. Yep. And then you're no longer a pig, you're called a hog, which is a hunter of gunmen. So.
Oh, that is a sick title.
Yeah. So then they give you, when you graduate, you get your certificate, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like the whole otage thing of like a hog. They give you your hog's tooth, which is a necklace with just a bullet on it. Yeah.
That's
and like it goes back to I want to say I don't even know if it was Vietnam, but this goes back a long time to like the whole idea was like if a sniper shoots another sniper, like because they're like kind of hunting each other, you take the bullet out of their gun and then like wear it around you because that's the bullet that's meant to kill you. So it's like if you're wearing it, then like
it's a trophy. Away. Yeah, that is. Oh my god, I didn't realize it was like that. That is like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but obviously that was just they get it from wherever, probably from the ammo supply at school.
Yeah,
and you finish your final event, your final exercise, and like the death hike back. Call it. And it's just like one last nut check to like
make. Yeah, you're all in.
Yeah, and you've been running missions for a week with like maybe a couple hours of sleep if you're lucky. And then you've got one final movement with heavy stuff, heavy rucks, and carrying a lot of things.
Yeah.
To the final point where you've earned it. And then at that point, it's you get your hog's tooth and
that's
you graduated.
God damn, dude. That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like almost like following kind of that. It's like, what do you think like the kind of like the biggest and most important role of like kind of like modern snipers are? Because I'm doing like my research kind of on like you said Vietnam and kind of then like how it's like World War II. It seemed like kind of when things really picked up. But like kind of how would you say like kind of like because I mean you're obviously like the modern era of it. So it's like kind of how would you say like what was your responsibility, and then if like you have knowledge of like kind of like the historic version, kind of like maybe how that differed. If not, all good. I'm going to research that, but kind of like your take on that.
Yeah, and keep in mind this is Marine Corps snipers.
Okay, yeah.
The Army does it a little different.
Okay.
From what I understand. The Army, they focus more on just the shooting aspect. I think their sniper school is trying to incorporate more of like the stalking. I know they'd have stalking, but it's like it's a shorter course. And
okay.
It's more focused on shooting solely.
Okay.
Whereas the Marine Corps sniper school, like the saying that they would always say when people got like too into the whole shooting thing and not the other parts of the job is the title is scout sniper. Scout is before sniper. So
yeah,
like comes first.
Yeah.
But in like the modern world, or modern sniper world, what's the last, I'd say, couple decades or was you're basically the eyes of the ground force commander.
Okay.
Like we're some battalions have them in weapons company. We were in headquarters company, which the only difference is just like who you fall under when you're not in the field.
Yeah.
But basically the whole idea of putting snipers there is you're like right up with the command and with the battalion commander.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, you are his tool. Like the line companies have their company commander and all that. But like in the field, like the headquarters company commander isn't really the one that's going to be like, hey, sniper platoon, I want you to do this. Like, that's not his role. It's the battalion commander, like, disseminates the information. But like you're the battalion commander's, like, whether you want to say eyes or what.
Totally.
But you're going out there ahead of everybody else. So say they want to do a raid on a town,
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to send you out a week before, a couple days before.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to infill in, maybe be like a 20K hike with all your equipment,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't get caught, right?
Yeah.
And there's all this criteria. Like, a lot of guys like get off on their helicopter and stuff. But
Yeah.
like snipers, it's like the rule of thumb is like a terrain feature away. So if there's a mountain, you're on the other side of the mountain,
Yeah.
so they can't hear the truck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're walking, and you're just gonna get there. It's gonna be a nut check again. Walking there with a heavy pack, and then you're setting up your OP, your observation post.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, your job's to observe the objective.
Yeah.
You're reporting how many people are there, how many buildings, like stuff like that. And like, you can go from like the biggest scale, like, these are the weapons that we see, this is how many people we've counted, blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
Like, you're there for days, so it's like you can get so minute into it. Like, the door hinges are on the outside of the door, so that means that
It swings this way. Yeah.
And stuff like that. Or like, maybe they just have guards walking around the town, but obviously there's people inside, so it's like, do they get resupplied water and food every day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much are they getting resupplied at each building?
Mm-hmm.
And you can make an estimated guess on how many people are in that building.
Yeah.
Like, little stuff like that. Basically, yeah, you're the eyes. It's like the whole reconnaissance aspect of it.
Wait, so were you
Yes.
were you special forces or conventional unit?
Conventional
Okay.
unit.
That was
So,
my TA was like, make sure you ask him that. So I yeah.
So there's three different, I guess, in the Marine Corps at least, there's like three different avenues to being a sniper. At least there was before they got rid of
Yeah.
for platoons. So there's the way I did it, which is the infantry guy, conventional unit. Then there's recon, which they just came out with the recon sniper course since they got rid of ours.
Okay.
But that's the route that Jordan was.
Okay.
So he was a recon Marine. They're not special operations solely.
Okay.
It's weird with the classifications.
Yeah, yeah.
But they do more special stuff than the average infantry guy for sure.
Okay.
But they're known to be very underutilized. They get a lot of training. It's the same thing for like the sniper platoon. We get a lot more training than the average grunt.
Yeah.
But we're very underutilized. Recon even more so. Like, they get their whole like jump wings to jump out of the plane, the scuba
really?
dive, stuff like that.
Oh,
But
damn.
then they don't really get used because the Marine Corps is really bad about this, because they have so like every other branch, they're like, yeah, like our special guys are special. Army special forces, Rangers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They get a lot of funding. They get to do cool stuff. But
Yeah.
the Marine Corps has the attitude of, well, every Marine is special, so they're not extra
Yeah.
special. So they don't like the whole like recon are cool guys, snipers are cool guys stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, recon, go to their recon basic reconnaissance course and like the whole pipeline for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to sniper school. Like, honestly, the test outs are pretty damn same.
Okay.
They don't do as much shooting. I mean, they do like a little bit of rifle shooting. They don't do any precision shooting there.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing the same land nav. You're doing the same missions. You're doing the same nut checks and stuff.
Yeah.
They do the aquatic stuff. We just do like a basic swim. But
Yeah.
they have to do the whole finning. But same idea. Pretty similar, I'd say, in like nut check wise.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say in that. But then they're in a reconnaissance battalion. But then they will send some of their guys to sniper school to get sniper qualified.
Okay.
So they get the MOS,
Yeah.
but they're not just snipers. Like, they'll still do their other reconnaissance stuff, which the amphibious recon portion, there's amphibious recon, which is like most of them, and then they have their one force reconnaissance company.
Mm-hmm.
They're more of like the whole, like, I guess, CQB stuff. But
Yeah.
the amphibious recon and sniper platoons, the missions are like the exact same, except for sniper platoons are going to be walking
Okay.
much everywhere.
Yeah.
And recon, they'll walk a lot, but they can also jump out of like planes.
Helicopters.
And yeah, I mean, we'll land in helicopters. They'll jump out of planes, land in helicopters, or they'll scuba in.
Oh.
So they got to do that cool stuff.
That's badass.
It sucks though.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Which
there's that.
was
And
Ed
then you
was Ed the same as you?
So Ed, me, Tucker, and Tori were all just infantry guys who went to sniper school and did the whole sniper screener.
Okay.
Then Jordan was a recon guy.
Okay.
Who went to sniper school, and then he's like, you stay in recon if you're a recon guy. You don't go to sniper platoon.
Okay.
But then you can also go the route where you're like MARSOC or the Raiders. They go to their own sniper school. That would be the special operations classified.
Okay.
Or classification, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be similar to like the Army, like the Green Berets going to their sniper school versus like just the Army snipers.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was conventional. Got to work with a lot of recon guys. But yeah, it's like you're doing as much as you can with as little as they give you, which is kind of like
totally. Yeah, exactly. Is there any like I'm just trying to think of like things, right? Were there any like issues that you kind of felt besides like being underutilized, or like when it came to like training or like stuff like that? Is there anything like that you think could be done better possibly?
Yeah, I think this got worse as the years went on, and it kind of got away from like the whole like
core idea.
Like the whole like when the war was like really going on, like people were getting after it a lot. It was more like, hey, like be lethal. But then as time goes on and like the deployments get far and few between, they get a lot more like peacetime Marine Corps, which is they care more about drill, uniforms, and looking pretty. Yeah. And like I did have some leadership who like understood like, hey, like we still need to be lethal. Yeah. But they can't always control that. It's always someone above the person that makes the decision. Is they're more hands-on, so it's like you got to be more safe, or we can't focus on that, or it's like you care more about like your leadership course, which is bullshit. Like you learn more leadership in the field exercise than you do learning how to fucking march. But it's the people who stayed in who never did any of that other stuff. So it's like the opportunities get thinner and thinner. And that's ultimately why I got out, is because we were underutilized and underfunded. We didn't get the equipment that we should have. And people started caring too much. And like, granted, there is a time and place for it. Like, you can't just like this is an issue with snipers. Everyone thinks that like snipers are all cowboys, and like to some extent, like my flag on my wall right here, it's literally like Seminole cowboys.
I'm sure like the movies also like don't help when they all come out. It's like American Sniper, and these guys are just like taking people out, like raiding all the buildings, like.
But like it's just like little stuff like that. Like, okay, we were in the field for a week before you guys got there, so of course I have a beard. I'm not going to shave when I'm in the field. Or like I don't have a haircut.
It was like they would like get mad about stuff like that, like during active service too.
Stuff like that, and then also like you'd be surprised some of the bullshit that happens. Like this wasn't a case for me, but this is like stories I've heard, is like coming in from like some remote ass fucking base. Like in the mountains in Afghanistan to the main base to like resupply, and then some fucker like who's high up but like has never like actually shot at someone or something is like, hey motherfucker, why don't you have a haircut? Like you can't come into the shop until you get a haircut, or like your camis are too dirty. It's like, yeah, they got blood on them, dickhead, shit like that.
Oh my god.
It's just like some people are in their own little world. But
seems like a pride thing at that point if you're gonna get mad at somebody for shit like that.
It's just everyone's in their own little worlds. But yeah, just like underutilized, undermanned, and
totally
underappreciated.
So does the Army still have their sniper units?
Yeah, and I'm not super educated on that process, but they do have their sniper. I don't know if I'm assuming they have sniper platoons there too, or scout platoon.
I'll do some research on that. I honestly didn't realize that it was split, and I kind of should have realized. The Navy doesn't have snipers, do they?
Navy has the SEALs who have sniper school, but that's about it.
Okay. And
like some of my friends did get the opportunity to go to the advanced courses with them, like urban and stuff. I didn't go with any SEALs. I went with a Green Beret he knew his stuff. So like, but like other branches will. So like that's the thing, is like the FBI sent their snipers to Marine Corps sniper school. Like out of all the conventional sniper schools, like the traditional ones, like the Marine Corps, I would say was the most respected. Not to say that like the Army wasn't like they're respected too, but just because the length and the skills that you go over, and I think just because of the history of it, like it was well respected from everybody. Every branch, and like sometimes they would even like there are stories of like SEALs going to the basic Marine Corps sniper school, MARSOC guys going to it, probably Green Berets going to it, stuff like that, because it's not like. I'd say like the more specialized ones, like the MARSOC sniper course, the Green Beret sniper course, stuff like that. Like they get probably better funding, but like they're learning more I guess less standard stuff. I guess
Like a lot more specialized and kind of like niche almost.
niche.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Trying to think what other questions. I mean, honestly, this is gonna give me so much shit to write about. Is there any and just any kind of outstanding thoughts you have that would improve it?
Let me look at that document just to see.
There's 20 questions. I think I'm kind of going more about the headlines of it than the actual questions themselves. But if you see anything that kind of catches your eye, feel free to just take the reins.
I guess I can talk about the advancements in technology and stuff.
Sweet.
That's been a big thing that people were we were focusing on as we kind of picked out.
Sweet.
Because obviously in a long time ago, Vietnam, it was crawling around in the bushes, trying not to be seen by dudes who had iron sights on their AK-47s.
Yeah.
Close quarter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went on, we got more towards the observation stuff. Scopes got better, guns shoot further. Observation devices got a lot better. We got thermal, we got night vision, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the role of the sniper almost went I'd say in World War II, they're probably. I mean, I'm not really educated on this. I'm sure they did their observation and scouting stuff, but it was hey,
what do you see
over us?
Overwatch, exactly, right?
Bell Tower from Saving Private Ryan, that
exactly.
sort of crap.
Yeah.
But as time moved on, I'd say after Vietnam, more towards maybe the Gulf War,
mm-hmm.
And Desert Storm, it got more reconnaissance using thermals, especially in the Global War on Terror, where the enemy didn't have thermals and stuff like that. We really had an edge. You could see them 3 times as far as they can shoot you.
Exactly.
And your guns can shoot further than theirs. But if you're doing a reconnaissance mission, well, why don't we just stay outside of the range of their guns? And then you don't really have to worry about anything. In case someone sneaks up on us, obviously you're going to be careful and try not to get seen. But it's if you're 2 miles away observing through a big ass camera lens, which we do and send reports and stuff, and thermal,
they don't
care.
They don't really have a chance almost.
But that, and then as we kind of got away from the War on Terror and started focusing more on China, Russia, stuff like that. Now they have thermals, especially nowadays they have drones. I kind of got out before drones and the whole Ukraine thing. Ukraine happened right as I was about to get out.
Okay.
The drones are a big thing now. Thermals were definitely something we were trying to look at. Because it's different from if you're just hiding in a ghillie suit, but it's hot. Now you're on thermals.
Exactly.
So it's trying to transition away from that and more how can I I built this hider on me, but the hub's open and a drone flies over and sees me.
Exactly.
So it's defeating advancing technology. We've had the technological advantage for so long, but now it's starting to catch up on the other side. So it's we need to find out how to
keep our edge. Yeah. And I feel at least for me, just being someone who I do American history, military, research, stuff like that. But I always it's, we all think about the movie, it's American Sniper, you're but now I feel people don't realize that in modern day, it's a lot more different because we're not fighting people that were like you said, just so much more advanced then. It's everybody has this. So it's how tactically can we also have an advantage? So I think that'll be a solid paragraph I'll include in there that I wasn't really thinking about. Yeah.
But there's that. And then I think one thing that's just interesting to see is it's happened a couple of times in the Marine Corps, but they downsize, get rid of snipers, right? We don't need snipers, blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as a war kicks off,
and fuck, now
who could we have that could give us a heads up that how much enemy are there and do some sneaky reconnaissance stuff, and then also be able to shoot people before they can get shot. Snipers, God, and bring them back.
It's shit. Well, it's we used to have those.
I foresee Marine Corps snipers will come back again, but it just sucks because it's there's going to be some and the guys who do stay and do a good job of trying to keep teaching. And the school's gone, but they have scout platoons now. It's weird. But it's taking away capabilities, but they try and keep the knowledge tree flowing.
But it's hard to do that.
Some of it's gonna fall out. You're gonna lose that, and you're gonna learn it in blood is the saying. Like,
Exactly.
you're gonna learn the lesson in blood.
So have like throughout, like, do you know if like the Marine Corps like consistently like picks up like they have like snipers and they drop them, and they pick them up when they need them again, and then drop when they don't, or like is this kind of like more of a newer thing they just did because they didn't think they would need them anymore?
The whole. So I don't know exactly when, but I know for a fact that they did get rid of snipers before and then brought them back. I don't know if they brought them back post 9/11 or if it was like Desert Storm time.
Okay.
But don't quote me on the exact.
Yeah,
years,
I'll go through and try to find it.
But it has happened. But the whole reason they got rid of us this time, they got rid of a lot of people. They got rid of artillery. They got rid of tanks. They got rid of assaultmen, snipers. The whole reason is the Marine Corps is downsizing and getting back to its roots. Like the Marine Corps was initially like, think of like World War II, the Pacific.
Yeah.
Amphibious to islands.
Exactly.
And like it's they're trying to position it back to amphibious.
Like just like kind of like the whole like the gritty Marines, like the guys who are gonna go in when no one else will. Like
like Guadalcanal type shit.
Yeah.
Because like the war on terror, it was such a land-based war. The Middle East.
Yeah.
But like trying to get away from that and like keep, I guess, relevant.
Okay.
And like I know it used to be a thing. They're like, why don't we just get rid of the Marine Corps and make it part of the Army? And then like everyone was like, no, we love our Marines. Like, fuck off. But it's like I'd say they're trying to like keep the Marine Corps away from the Army just to like be like, this is why we're needed, because the Army can't do this amphibious stuff.
Totally.
But then like it's a whole thing of like, well, now we're losing capabilities, and it's like, is that even relevant? Blah blah blah. Because okay, yeah, we do the island hopping stuff that we did in World War II. Well, guess what? Now our potential enemy on the horizon, they have missiles that can hit a button and blow up the whole island. So
exactly.
It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. There's a lot of red tape around everything, I feel like, too, and so much bureaucracy and just bullshit. So like, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with that, but like, there's just so much bullshit.
That's another thing is like, as the war kind of didn't even die down, but I'd just say like the late like 2000s, not even to 2010 yet, but even then, like after like the big battles and stuff, like the red tape started coming out, and then about the time I joined, it was even worse than like before Jordan and the other guys were in. And now it's like, I'd say like they were definitely wrapping us up with red tape when I joined, but as I was getting out, like it's like
they're just strangling you almost.
And like we saw it with like the withdrawal from Afghanistan, like everything that happened, there's red tape all over. No, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Everyone's pointing fingers at each other. Nobody wants to take responsibility. It's someone else's fault. Like, yeah.
And it's like people are afraid to be bold. Like the commanders are afraid to be bold because if this goes wrong, it's on me.
And your job is gone.
If I just sit on my hands, then it's like something may go like worse than it would have. But like
it's not my fault.
It's not like I made a bad choice.
Exactly.
I just didn't make the choice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've got some good stuff that I'm gonna cook up now tomorrow. I'm gonna dial in. I gotta go eat dinner right now, but I do like Tom. This actually helped me out so much. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Are you headed home for the holiday at all or no?
Yeah, I'm working tomorrow for Blackout Wednesday. And
Sharp.
Go home in the morning. So.
Nice. When are you coming back then?
Probably Sunday.
Okay. If you end up coming back Saturday, I think I'm gonna hit Mondays for a little bit on Saturday, but then I'm working at night, so I think I'm gonna go there and pregame work a little bit, and then head over. But
all right.
If not, I'll see you next week. But have a great Thanksgiving and safe travels.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.